All right, hello everybody. Going to do the intro without Mason. He'll be joining us in a bit. I think, believe this is the sixth episode of the State of Scrims podcast for the second season. We just kicked off week 4 with the first two games having already been played, and that final game is going to happen on Wednesday. While we are just waiting for Mason, I'm going to burn some time, plug some stuff that I've been kind of checking out recently. Believe it or not, Clash of Clans and Chess.com partnered. New spell chess game mode, very fun. Been enjoying that. And now we are being gapped. Hello? Okay, we should be good now. If it will show us the right thing. Surely I'm not leaking DMs. Here we go. Anyway. Also, twitch.tv/LOL World Championships. Based, as always, we have the 1 month period of no LOL esports, so you surely just watch Worlds from all the other years. So I have been doing a bit of that. Anyway, Mason, glad to have you on here. How have you been doing?
Hey guys, doing good. I was in the middle of a Baldur's Gate run because I thought we were not doing podcasts, but then I remembered time zones are different. So,
All right. Well, your team has not played yet this week, so no embarrassing upsets.
embarrassing, embarrassing. That's crazy, bro.
You seemed ashamed.
That's crazy.
I'm allowing you to have your space.
No. Your team's about to get wiped, bro. I'm the Emerald 3 prodigy. You don't understand.
So true. Villager
simply
low.
Yeah.
I mean, if that were true, if Emerald 3 Prodigy means you win, I believe Psycho Carrot and Taxi would also be undefeated.
I mean,
Or maybe Taxi just decayed into Emerald 4, so maybe I'm lying.
wait, I thought Psycho Carrot was Plat.
Oh, I don't know. I thought he was Emerald. Maybe I'm wrong, but we'll see. Anyway, only 2 series this week. Let me see if I can get those pulled up. It is just going to show me Baked or Base first, so oops, sorry, not happening yet. And it is not grabbing my Chrome because why would anything work the way we want it to? Here we go. There is other news in Scrims that we will mention.
I saw, and I've heard.
Yes. So. But let me see if I can't get these games pulled up. We did have Rift Sharks versus New York Nutbusters happened on Saturday, and then Andromeda versus Spectres happened on Sunday. I guess we can just go through them in chronological order. Rift Sharks, as I predicted exactly, had their classic Game 2 draft moment. I decided picking MF in this game was a great idea, and it went terribly, as you could have predicted. Zach's brand is phenomenal. I feel like he played a great series across the board. All of his picks were really annoying to deal with. And Adam continues to just be an absolute terror to play into. I feel like NYNB people are sleeping on a little bit just because they're 0-3, but I think their upcoming matchups are going to be telling for how the team's going to do. But I think they're the team that has pleasantly surprised me the most after playing both my series against them.
I would agree. I think there's still like a few things that they need to figure out as a team. I think some of the like champion pool issues or not champion pool issues per se, but it's like figuring out a cohesive draft and like identity for the team is like something that I think they've kind of struggled with. But Zach with these really unique picks have like helped them out a lot. So I think that's a really important thing to highlight. Adam is just sort of playing annoying champions and just 1v9ing on all of them, which is pretty impressive to see. I will say in game 2, the MF pick in my brain is like more okay than the fucking Shyvana pick in R5 here, or in like R4, R5. I think it was blue side. That one had me fucking welding, but sure.
Would Jarvan have been better?
Literally any other champion that is not named Shyvana here is so much better. Like this champion fucking sucks right now. But
did she get nerfed
like,
or?
Yeah, champion got nerfed again, so it's like kind of unplayable in my opinion.
Gotcha.
I will say I think
go ahead.
it was a pretty fun series to watch. Like Arguably in game one, I feel like putting Mimi mid is like a little suspect, but I think she did okay with the Lux. It was just got punished a little bit by Anne's Swain, which is pretty good. So we do love to see the Swain pick
Yeah,
from
I
Anne.
mean,
So
I would say this pool of players just has a track record of doing some role swaps that are a bit suspect.
suspect,
I think
yeah,
you call out the Andromeda lane swap earlier. I think that is way better. Obviously, Alana has just played mid lane before and been fine on it. There was a playoff series with a similar group of players that I believe resulted in Michaela was either top lane or mid lane, and then they had
oh
another
that one
person
was
who
so
doesn't play
funny.
solo lane
I
go
think it's
there, and then
Ian,
I
right?
believe both get Flame Horizoned. I think, I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm
that
just
was an
really not
argument
a
made
fan of
there.
taking someone who isn't super comfortable on solo lanes and just shoving them in there because you think you can get an advantage in the bot lane. Like, I generally understand the concept. I just wasn't a super huge fan of that, especially when you put
Yeah,
Michaela on support and she plays like two insane games right after it. Like, I don't know. We
yeah.
went
Why was
1-1
it ever?
on games with Michaela on support, I think. If they had played that the whole series, it's possible they just take it from us.
Yeah,
Obviously, my
they could.
ego wouldn't want me to say that, but I do think it's true. But
There's better
yeah,
odds and stuff. I think the out of 80 carry was also really interesting to see. So
right. I mean, I think that is something that we saw a bit of last season, and it's something I really liked. His Zaya,
yeah,
Jinx, and Samira are all pretty good.
hmm
I the Samira R5 spot in the second game was like actually perfect. Like there is Threshook and Flay and nothing else can even touch
yeah,
Samira, or like unless you hope that you can like parry the Orin into the Samira to stun her, but she just completely cleaned up, and Zach just set him off to start the game really well. On the brand, just completely shut me and Eric out of the game. So yeah, that game too was really really good by them, and then I think the Karthus Orin scaling comp that we had here just super comfort for me and Anne. I think just paid off really well. Our team fighting I think was really good. I think in my
Karthus
experience,
itemization. Yeah,
yeah, see, it doesn't matter. It's the right choice if we win the game, right? So,
surely that's the correct line.
but I think from my personal experience, New York Nutbusters tends to spike in game two, where we tend to valley in game two. So I think it is a really interesting dynamic between the two of our teams. But I feel like if Nutbusters is able to grab a win on the first game, I think they should just end up 2-0ing basically any series that they play.
Agreed. This team does
Unless
like a lot
when
of
they played
leveling
into
up
you, did they
after.
win the first game? Or
I think that yeah,
yes, okay, they did. So
yeah.
never mind. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but
We're a mental strong team though, trust. We
yeah,
are the Metabusters, so
I don't know. I feel like they have a lot of chaotic energy, and I think it is hard to control that over the course of a 3 game
yeah.
series. So I feel like they kind of fall apart a little bit after that third game. However, their next series is scheduled a lot earlier in the day, so we might get to see that change a little bit. I think that actually will have an impact, whereas for most teams, I feel like it wouldn't. We can head
Yeah.
on to the second series. I believe we just burnt some time on that one. I have a lot of thoughts about this series.
Really? I didn't have that many. Like, you DM'd me about it earlier, but like,
Yeah,
I feel like this was a fucking splendid Spectre's performance as per usual. Like, you watch, I think Caesarius did pretty well on a counter pick. Rek'Sai does tend to do really well into Lilia because you just tunnel into her, press your W, fucking knock her up, fucking one shot her because this champion is not balanced, and then fucking run around the map and snowball off that. And like Lilia can't really fight you. You can immune her ulti with your ulti as well. So it's like I think Caesarius played this side of the matchup really well. So props to him on that. I think Andromeda did show like signs of life in the first game. The rise, the Asol into Rise matchup was really good. Like, I think Stanley played it really well. Got like a couple early kills and was about to start snowballing onto Gruer, and then some misplayed dragon fights like really shut them down. I think, and then they got reverse snowballed on a little bit. IMO. That was like my general read on the game, and I think Alana did sort of get shut out by the uh, Mordekaiser top. That was just a really well played counter pick from the side of Spectres. Bean really played that really well, so I want to shout out him as well. Like that was a fucking gross Mordekaiser showing. Like,
Yes.
but
Okay,
yeah,
I will do the devil on the shoulder for this game.
yeah,
Will caveat this: I'm not discrediting any Spectres with this take. I think
uh-huh.
they obviously have been playing very well. I really enjoy
Yeah,
watching their team. I think they're very strong. However,
uh-huh.
from the Andromeda perspective, I really liked how they set up draft. They grabbed something
Yeah,
bread and butter for them that's worked before. This Lucian Milio, very strong lane. Obviously, you got to assume Spectres have been doing draft prep on it, so you get the Ash Leona lane. I don't think you're too upset about it. Alex
yep,
did the correct thing of grabbing the cleanse, and Milio has the cleanse on his ultimate to deal with Ash
uh-huh.
Leona. I don't think you're set up too terribly. Then you have the
Agreed.
Asol pick, which I think is like insane here. That was a really good pick.
Uh-huh.
I don't think you could have found anything better. I'm really liking this. My issues with their draft come to the top side of the map.
Yeah,
Alana grabbing Alawi, completely fine with it. However, you leave up Mordekaiser. I don't care if they don't play Mordekaiser. Alawi is fine as a counterpick into some champions. Alawi is abysmal into Mordekaiser. Like, yes, Bean
yeah,
played really well, but you could like have someone who like you could just have a person chop them in half down the middle through their head and they'd basically do the same thing. Like obviously they'd have a few less kills and they wouldn't be like flame rising and hit level 18 first in the game like Bean did because that was nuts. But you could have like a literal half of a person that would win the Mordekaiser Alawi matchup. Like I'm sorry, it's
yeah,
just free. The disrespect coming out of Andromeda leaving that up, I think is a little scuffed. Also, if you have Xerath and Syndra, I feel like you should be able to find a counter pick into it, at least one of them. Or if you can't, just blind the Mordekaiser instead of the Alawi.
yeah. It is
Like
safe to
Mordekaiser
blind.
does have bad matchups, right? But you have like Olaf's a big one, Fiora. Those are like the two that you're generally going to see a lot of. There's a couple other ones that are like not as strong, but those are hard to play. Olaf's
Uh-huh.
difficult not because he's a complex champion, but because people don't really play him. And then Fiora is difficult because she's a complex champion, and you really have to know
Yeah,
how to play the macro game with the Fiora. So if you're going to be leaving up Mordekaiser, which you can assume basically everyone and their grandma plays, please ban it if you're
yeah.
picking Alawi, and if you're not, don't pick Alawi. I'm sorry. Like, I don't know. Anyway,
Yeah,
that's not a diss on Alana Zalawi because in the next game she plays phenomenally. Was the only person who looked good on her team, to be completely honest. And honestly, I feel like Jonah had some really good looks in the early game on Rek'Sai, but I think something that he's admitted himself and has been kind of discussed in general is that if he's playing a carry-oriented champion, his hands kind of fall apart later in the game, or he just loses focus. It's kind of
yeah,
like you have the hands to play the champion, or you're working with your team on macro, which is a little bit rough. I do respect the counter pick, but I think just grabbing something like we saw in the second game, I feel like the Maokai just he looked better on it in team fighting, even though that game was just
yeah.
rougher overall.
It's a little rough. Yeah. I do think like I think in game two, like I think Cerberus and Mythic were fucking whipping and nitting on Alex and PV. Like they were fucking getting solo kill, like double kills back to back to back. It was kind of nuts. So I really want to shout out that bot lane. They played it super well. Greer on the Gen vid was very funny as well, if I remember correctly. That was hilarious to watch. But yeah, it was a really well played series by Spectres, in my opinion. I think Andromeda is still showing signs of life, still being super competitive. It's just a little rough, I think. Did we want to talk about the news related to the team, or?
I will. I need to devil on my shoulder for the second game as well. I
Sure, go
apologize.
for it.
But again,
Dean
Spectres
has
played
more
really well.
complex thoughts
Obviously,
about this,
Gruer
so.
goes crazy. Um,
Uh-huh.
if you haven't already listened to the post game interview I did with him after the game, go ahead and check that out. I think it was pretty good. I feel like he covered a lot of points, had a lot of insight into that game, and kind of gassed up his teammates where it was deserved. I think there's a lot of good stuff to listen to there. But anyway, I think what kind of happened with Andromeda there is they had a really close game against Spectres. This is a team that 2-0'd you previously. You feel like you have that first game in your grasp, and I think they kind of did. It falls apart, and it's just hard to kind of get your mental back into it. I think
Yeah.
Xayah, while it's really good in the draft, I really like that pick. I think it's something that Alex has not been as comfortable on, just
Agreed.
based on previous history on the champion. So I think you feel like you got to get like the right draft slotted together. You don't go with these comfort picks that you had lined up for the first game. Then you kind of fall a little bit off. You're uncomfortable. You're a little tilted, and things kind of fall apart. And that's how the Jhin mid is able to scale up as much as it is. Like even Gruer was like, I wasn't expecting to be able to do this well, but when Jhin, especially lethality Jhin snowballs, he's so hard to shut down because the guy is just running around at like 700 movement speed. I don't really know what you're supposed to do.
Yeah, and can play from
yeah.
like super far ranges, so it's kind of gross. But it was just a great series to watch.
Yes.
Definitely recommend the Spectres versus Andromeda series if you got some time to watch the games. So.
Yep. I do want to stress, I don't think Andromeda should be discouraged after that series. I feel like for the first like 20, 22 minutes of the series, it looked like their comms were really solid. They had much better draft game plans besides that one flaw I picked out in the first game. You got to ban the Mordekaiser, but everything else I really like. They kind of force Spectres into a weird team comp where they have like 3 AP, the only AD is Ashe. Sarver's obviously played out of his mind there. It's really tough to be able to deal with that, but I don't know. I feel like it's a really good series from both teams. But yeah, that game one was really good. Sure. I was really excited watching that.
Jonah did sort of perform on the Rek'Sai early game, so props to him on that one. So.
Yep. Okay. Yes, I guess we can talk about it. My good friend Hong Baba has been traded from Rift Sharks to Andromeda. Unfortunately, the exit of our former starting jungler means that it's pretty much impossible to run Hong unless we're running some whack roster, and Andromeda's looking for a sub. So we did what had to be done. Unfortunately, my plan to boost Hong to a win in first place at his last season is going to fail now because he won't be on my team. But, you know, I don't know.
Yeah, but he wasn't going to win anyway, so it's fine. But.
So true. Mason, a hater 4-0, but...
Yeah, clearly I'm not more interested in other teams, bro. You got me, dog, clearly.
But yeah, no,
I'm sorry, bro. Your team is so bad. What can I say?
Everyone thinks we're boring. Makes me sad.
No. I said your team is boring, not your team isn't good, bro. Come on.
I said boring.
That's crazy.
I've adjusted my belief. I talked to people. I've changed the narrative. People think we are boring. That is something I can accept.
Okay.
I was like, do people dislike me? And everyone was just like, no, you're just boring, so no one wants to cheer for you. And I go, okay, this is fine. But I think Hong going to Andromeda is really interesting. I believe, obviously he does play some mid, so they could just sub him out purely for Stanley. But I think if you put D up in the top lane, he can just replace Alex. So you do have Hong PB bot lane as a possibility, and I think that could be really exciting. So I think that is going to be a powerhouse to watch out for. I think that definitely changes who has the strongest possible bot lane in the server. And thinks we're not boring, but I do understand people's arguments.
You're walking Udyr every game that you are playing jungle. You're so fucking boring. Hidiri's playing Maokai like every fucking game. What are you talking about? Karthus is boring too! What? Bro's building fucking Lunens on Karthus in a game with 5 bruisers. Like, huh?
Okay, someone needs to get the Rift Sharks' boring take into Victor base so I can discuss my thoughts on it, because I will not take up time to discuss it otherwise. But
objectively wrong opinion. It's okay, Joel. You keep locking your Renekton, bro. I promise you will have fun every game. Like, bro.
Ansys, I can't believe you're calling your own one-trick boring. You of all people should know that Udyr is boring.
Yeah, that's why. I'm qualified. I have the license. What? Also, calling me an Udyr one trick is very funny, but true. Go Zoom, dude. You get outpaced by fucking Zeri, bro. Like, this champion sucks. What do you mean, dog?
Okay. Well, we can do our little meta peek. Obviously, basically nothing is going to have changed, so this will be kind of quick. Probably not worth doing. Xayah continues to suck, guys. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
155.
Baited into the Xayah pick.
Maokai continues to be good. Nautilus continues to be good. Lilia is popping up a bit more in the presence area. If we do go to overall presence, I think Maokai is sitting on top.
Yeah.
Lilia is Caesarius, Jonah, Alana, Aya, and you have all played her. They did
Wait, I
the
thought I
flex
won
with Jonah and
my game.
Alana previously, which was interesting. This is just team
Wait, what?
format, so
Wait, yeah, no, I won the one in team format, but it says 0%.
oh, it
That's really funny. Sick website, Dean. Nice.
interesting. Okay, I will fix that.
I haven't won a single game of Udyr this season. I haven't played a single game of Udyr, bro. Like, what? I wonder why that is, by the way. Yeah, you honestly can't stop banning it. I'm washed. I'm fucking Emerald 3, Tisla, Emerald, Villager low.
Can you talk while I figure out what happened to the website?
Oh, yeah. Some other things that I wanted to highlight about this season so far. I think we've seen a lot of, I swear I had a pick in my brain here that was left. But like, I think the Lucian Milio that, Andromeda has been pulling out, I think probably deserves like a little bit more of a look at by other teams. I think it's pretty good. If you can play the Lucian, I feel like you should give it a shot.
Yeah, I feel like the issue is finding someone who can
Plays
play
the
Lucian and find someone who can play Milio.
Milio is so fucking easy, bro. This champion is not that hard,
Yep.
but that's a different
But,
conversation.
Plays does include willingness to do so, unfortunately.
That's true. That is true. What else is there? I don't think that much has really changed meta-wise for us. It's still just like mostly engaged junglers like Maokai doing super well, and then Hidiri played a card this game, I guess. Like, it makes him wanted in like 10 states for playing that champion, but sure, do you, bro?
See, now I gotta figure out
Oh
if this
yeah,
is all
New York
glitching.
Nutbusters did also take the tank mid strat that we used versus MVP. They are certified Steelers TM, but that is a different conversation. I'm out of things to talk about, Dean. I got nothing, bro.
Okay, I figured out what I did wrong.
Okay.
How it
We
happened,
bust.
now that is a completely different story. So I will just fix that real quick.
Yeah, I was about to say my Lilia does not suck, bro. Lose.
Hey, I never said it was bad. I said it was high presence.
Yeah, but Lilia, I think definitely should take a look at. I think the weaknesses that this champion has can be covered by like some different itemization choices. We've seen a lot of like the Leandri's Lilia setup. This item is not good on Lilia, guys. Spoiler alert. I feel like I think me and Cesarius have been doing the Roa setup. There's like a Rylai's Demonic Jockshow build that I kind of like on her too. If you are able to like play for scaling, play for setup, and play for 3 items kind of thing. I think that one definitely deserves another look at. I think Syndra has also had like an absurdly high presence. I just think Gruer and like a lot of other mids have been picking up this champion. It scales really well. It does a lot of damage. So I'm surprised. I would be surprised if it does not continue to have this presence. Same with Asol as well. I swear, as soon as Sharks picks Lilia for Hidiri, he'll build Ludens. Yeah, probably, but it's better than Leandri's. So.
Source for that one?
I made it up. No, by the way.
That would be funny if you just randomly said that and pretended a chatter came up with that one. That would be a devious to
He'll
a new
win.
level,
No,
I
he
think.
won't. That item fucking sucks on Lilia. Also, like, y'all, the Rift Shark defenders in this chat is so cringe, bro. Mason takes credit for all my base takes. That's not true. I give credit all the fucking time. Like, what are you talking about?
Can you can't call them Rift Sharks defender if they are the Rift Sharks. Like, you can just say the Rift Sharks representation. What can I say, Mason? We are engaged in the server. This is important. But yeah, no, I think Syndra is a champion to watch. I don't know if she's super high prio just because, like, some good players play her and it happens to get banned, or if it's high prio because it is actually a good champion. So we will have to see if that changes, or if we see some other people pull out Syndra that we weren't necessarily expecting.
Honestly, this champion is gross. After I talked about the ulti hidden buffs,
yes, I mean,
this champion's fucking gross.
Still only played twice. We'll have to see if that happens. I think
it still has like a decent presence though. No, it's getting like bans every game. So.
But it has not increased since the last time we talked about it. Syndra, however, has. And then Echo, I will go back. Metabuster's not picking Echo when it was a perfect Echo spot. Bedge, but Anyway,
I was asking for no. I'm not taking heat on that
no,
one, bro. I asked him to
I
play
didn't
it, bro.
say
No, no,
you.
no, no, no.
We already talked about this. I know it's not your fault.
I'm not about to die on this cross, bro.
Sarvis has
No
the
way.
only win on Kaisa this season. This is
This is
true.
true.
If you go to all of the above, though, Will My Goat is at the top. Hell yes. The wins
True.
are not sorting correctly. That's somewhat interesting. Surely I've not broken everything. Hong is also up there. Sarvis is 3-0 on the Kaisa, though. Looking pretty good. The win rate sort works correctly. I don't know what I've done here.
Sharks are a cool fish. You're wrong. Sharks are kind of weird.
Anyway, Heroic, Adam, Sarvis, Hong, all been doing pretty well here. I have gone one-on-one on it, so that's always fun. But yeah, I think website broken. Yeah, my bad. I don't know. Everyone's like, we should have bans, and then I add bans, and then it breaks everything. So
Yeah.
can't make everyone happy. Categories being me wanting the website to work and everyone else wanting stats. But oh well, I got all the assets fixed, so that's good.
Huge.
All right. I guess it is time to give the people what they want.
Make their base.
Yay. Okay.
Hold on, let me get some water real quick.
All right, I'll get it pulled up while he is going. All right, if you have not seen this before, basically, we get a list of takes. We actually have 47 right now. I guess we still have the Swiss cheese take, so we can get rid of that one because we already talked over it. But we have a list of takes. Generally, they're supposed to be kind of short to the point. Hot takes, they can be league related. It's nicer if they're about the team format, so it kind of stays on topic. But obviously, you can just kind of do whatever sometimes. Some people put takes about food. Some people say I should just do random things or look like random people. Those takes are usually bad. So they go into the chem fog, which we do see at the bottom. If you were a real one, you were around when the old Chemtech Drake was around for like about a couple months. It was terrible. It basically gave you Renata bailout if you got the soul, and then when the rift happens, there was just invisibility all over the map, and it sucked. But anyway, the chem fog, terrible, just like the implementation of it on Summoner's Rift. Baked, obviously, you know, if you are, you know, getting a little baked,
True.
this is the take you would have. And then based, we do have the Giga Chad Kasante on here to represent that. All right. Mason, are you ready for our... I have to completely rearrange this. Okay. I'm just going to have to pray it looks good because I can't see it on the stream. Where is the edge of it?
Also, and you act as if putting a band's stats to the players page that shows their volume of supports and disciplinary actions. You act like I would be #1 Scrim Zone's villain after that, but that's like statistically not true. So I'm a child of God, bro. #1 morality leader.
Is this the right size? Yeah, this is the right size. Is that readable on stream?
It's a little small.
It's doable though, and we're gonna have to put a lot of them on there. I'm gonna call that good. I can see it with like half my monitor. So
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
if this would save my settings, that would be fantastic. Just buy Photoshop, guys, I think is the take here.
Sure.
Okay. And it just changes the color back. I try. Okay. First take. I think you'll like this one.
Alright.
Jingle, Jin Jungle, needs to be buffed or brought back into an off-meta pick.
Oh, that goes like straight into base. Like, the furthest, or like the most base take I've ever heard in my life. But
okay, I will just let Mason have that one. I mean, I don't think it can hurt the game, so I'm just gonna default to that. But I also don't think we necessarily need to be seeing that we were using a different font to make it more readable, which I will go back to. I knew there was something I was doing differently here. No, not that one. There we go. Okay.
I mean, it's not unplayable. That's the secret. It's kind of fun. You can kind of clear with traps. Level 1, your clear is like not that bad.
Okay. Cool. Apologies. It's been a hot second since we've done this. Okay. First pick going in the base column. Mason isn't washed. He's just getting his shit panned every game. LOL. I know your stance on this one.
It's probably a little base, bro. I ain't gonna lie, bro.
Interesting. I thought you were going to say the opposite. I feel like you've been arguing that you are washed, but you're... I think you just like people gassing you up.
I mean, I'm fine if people think I'm dog shit. It's like fine. Understandable.
But you said base for that one? I might have to
I
argue.
I said base.
I don't know. I think you can go either. I'll let you overrule this one though.
We can just put it in the Gumpog thoughts.
Nah, cause I think it's a good take. That's reserved for those terrible ones that we regret reading. Okay, going on to the next one, we have Kaisa isn't OP anymore, and everyone is griefing draft by picking her early. Yeah, correct.
I will say that's pretty base.
Yep. Kaisa is bad. I don't know. I feel like Champion is still good, but in certain spots, I don't think you should be blinding her. Please tell me I didn't just stick that off the side of the screen. Oh, we're so good.
You're good.
Okay. Fine. Take. Okay, this is A, it's a Psycho Carrot take, and B, it's fucking terrible.
So we're just leaking who sent in the take now? That's so
Oh,
crazy.
I can't see, I just know. The take is Yuumi players are the most skilled players in the game. Thresh players get hard carried by the champ, no skill, plus ADC the weakest role.
Okay, yeah, never mind. You're right. Okay. Throw that shit in the...
Yeah. Goodbye.
In the furthest depths of baked, by the way. This is such a dog shit fucking take. Like, holy moly.
Oh, it's not getting chemfogged, or is it?
No, it's chemfogged,
okay,
for sure. Send that one to the depths of the chemfog.
And if you are not Psycho Carrot, good job. This is hard to tell, I guess.
This is a quality fucking Psycho
good knockoff. I might believe you. This is Gucci. Like, okay. Next one. Mason gets his Riz back, but it's like, I don't know.
What?
What are they cooking with this one, Mason? What does this mean?
I have Riz.
I think we just chemfog that one. I don't. Who let this person into the kitchen?
I mean, I guess.
But like, does this mean like you're allowed to have it back? Does it mean you're going to get it back at some point?
Yeah, I'm a little confused on what this means, but sure.
I'll take. Unfortunate. Next one. Top lane has more carry potential than mid lane.
Top lane has more carry potential than mid lane? I think this one's kind of baked. Like, I feel like the existence of Heroic in this season, like, literally disproves this, but...
Well, see, I'm wondering, though, is this just, like, a general take, or is this a, like, our league specific take? Because I think if it's our league specifically, I think it's baked. I'm with you. I think top is greater than mid is baked when it comes to scrims.
I think in general as well. I think that the role is just top lane requires a lot more input and like careful planning on how you set up wave states and stuff like that, and like a bunch of other shit. That does. If
it's hard, that doesn't mean that it doesn't have more potential. Do you think if executed well, it could carry harder? Or do you still think mid can roll harder?
I also just think if you play mid lane, you can just lock in a random roam champion and just walk bot lane for free, and then get 3 kills, and then it's just the game's over. But
Yeah. No,
I don't know.
I'm with you on here. I just thought I'd make it interesting. See if we can get.
Yeah, if you play top lane, you enjoy mental torture. Like, I'm sorry,
Yeah.
bro. You just don't enjoy having fun in League of Legends. Like, enjoy being a slave, I guess. Like, what?
All right. This is just a good take. I feel like these aren't like. We're getting boring ones. They're just like either right or wrong, and it's not like not much spicy. I copy and pasted the wrong thing. We have Gruer is the best or the most well-rounded mid laner on the most well-rounded team this season. I think that that's
This is like,
correct.
wow, what scorching hot takes today, ladies and
Yeah,
gentlemen. Like, what?
I think we can just drag that one up and then take Sky. Like you're correct. Yes, you've submitted a true statement. Good job.
Boring life Rick Sharks on God, bro. Like,
God damn. Okay. Ooh, okay. This one, whoever submitted this take is doing it right though. Sarverus is a better mid laner than Gruer. They just can't play against each other right now to prove it.
no, that's so base. Wait, that's
I
so
like
base.
this one. I don't care if
That's
it's right
so
or not. That
fucking
is going into the base
base.
category.
That's so fucking base.
However,
That's
counterpoint
so fucking
signups,
base.
guys. Get y'all both signed up for signups. Ego this, prove this. I want to see it.
That's so base.
I really want
Dude,
to see this now.
I loved Starburst mid lane, but oh my lord, I really want to see him versus Guerrero now. So
I think what we need is the Triss Jin combo again, but swap them. See if they can both perform again. Okay, that's a good one. We're cooking. We're cooking. Match MVP ratings are biased towards mid laners. I don't.
is this even statistically true?
Okay, well, you have the argument that Heroic and Gruer are at the top, but
They are literally
that's because
doing
they're
the
just
best.
hard carrying their teams. I think if it's not those two teams, I think everyone else is getting them. I can't think of other mid laners who are getting a lot.
Cam's getting a decent amount,
But he got some of them when he was top lane though.
Yeah, he got
which
that.
is like arguing against the point.
Yeah, you've gotten most of your match MVPs as well, I think.
And it's me and Hidiri are the ones that get it for us. So I think this one's baked. I don't.
This is a big baked. I'll take.
I'll take.
I'll take.
All right. Next one. Spectres will not complete the undefeated run in regular season. I'm saying this is based. We literally said this last week. I think we can just give the good old check mark on this one. I don't think it's Spectre's hate. I just think the team is more well balanced. And if NYNB, who is like turbo smurfing on everyone, wasn't able to pull it off, I think they won't be able to either.
That's fair.
Right. Going into that. Oh my god. Okay, this is what. Oh, how do I summarize this? If I am correct, Blake and Stanley are the only players to reach playoff finals 3 seasons in a row, both being seasons 1 to 3. Yes, maybe. They are definitely the only players to finish first in regular season 3 seasons in a row. Don't know about the finals thing. It's possible that someone else got it, but I do doubt it. If MVP make it to playoff finals, Valor will be added to that list. Do we think MVP has what it takes to return and defend their title in the playoffs? Or do we expect other teams to get back their chances and deny Valor 3 seasons in a row?
So, you want to just say, does Valor make it to finals 3 seasons in a row?
Like, this isn't a take. Like, it's a question. Yeah. Like, I think this is interesting. Let's we just sandbox this.
Valor makes it. Okay, we can do that.
I want to talk about this, but I don't want to bake through. Do you just want to cut to like stats or something and just talk this over real quick? I think it's an interesting point.
So wait, who has made it to finals 3 seasons in a row? Like besides Valor?
Okay, let's do a quick derail. Okay.
Because I think it's fair that he has made it twice. I think Cats was a very good roster, and okay, I will say I think
we gotta pull out the history books.
In last season of MVP, there are extenuating circumstances that got him to the final season, to the
This is
bracket
true. They
stage.
actually didn't play anything before getting to finals, so.
I feel
Okay, so
I
previously
feel
you
like they're
have Bitly
scaling
and
up.
Airwick, and then you have No Idea Jiffy Diffy. There's no one in comic between Airwick and Jiffy Diffy. No Idea and Bitly have Blake and Stanley, and that's it. So that's working. And then here we have Blake and Stanley, and then no other carryover between Jiffy Diffy and No Idea, right?
Yeah, because Jiffy Dippy just obliterated itself. So
Yeah. Okay. TSA made finals. Okay, and then that carries over. Jonah made 2 in a row here. I made 2 in a row here.
I won 2 in a row here, but haters will say that was a fake win from on my part. So
In a row?
or not 2 in a row. I've made 2
You're
championships
just
there, but
Mason. What are you talking about, man?
I'm high
Uh,
as hell, bro. Don't worry about it. High on life.
I'm trying to think, cause Jonah, Dan, was Dan on Jiffy Diffy?
Yeah.
Oh, but he was on Team Sexy. Okay. Yeah, no, I think that's accurate.
Yeah. And he
What
was
team
Valor
was
on
Silico
Silicats?
on here?
I have no idea.
I
Was
feel like,
Silico
I
on?
feel like he was subbing for someone. I want to say like Rusty Cats or something.
Maybe. Wait, was he on? Was he on? Was Valor on? Uh,
Silicats?
Silicats?
Yeah,
He was, right?
yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So this would be Blake here. Blake falls off on season 4, and then Stanley also didn't make it. He's on Janley. Silico doesn't make it, but Silico could
Look at
also
how
make it.
tough
So
season
it's
5.
not just Valor though. It's no, because Silico
Silica
wasn't on
and
here
Valor.
because he wasn't on MVP. Okay, brain hurt. Yes, I guess you're right. Jackson and
There's some.
Will were not on here. So yeah. Okay, Valor. Do we think Valor's going to do it? Is the question.
Valor makes it to his third final. I think it's more possible this season. MVP has looked really good. I will say I will say I think season 5 or the season 5 bracket stage section was just scuffed in general. Like
Yeah.
I think 3 teams just dropped out and then like half the rosters just gave up. It was very silly, but not to discredit their win. I still think they played really well. So
Yeah.
but it was a fascinating
I don't know. I
bracket
mean,
stage.
we have single
I think he
elim,
definitely
right?
has a, yeah.
I mean, I honestly want to say 50-50 because I feel like whatever the top 4 teams are going to be, I think it's all going to be kind of like rock paper scissorsy, just by the way we've seen this play out. Unless they manage to hit 4th and Spectres is 1st and Spectres continues to do as well as they have, then I think no. I think he's just doomed. If that's the scenario which happens, which I don't think it is, I think it's just a hard 50-50. I think it's really hard to tell. I think he does have a really good supporting cast. They've shown that they have some flexibility with both Silico and Aya. So if you're able to kind of play around that correctly, but I do know that that's kind of gated by scheduling. So I'm not sure if that's something that they're necessarily going to be able to do. So
I think Valor has always, to give him credit, drafted like players that synergize really well with him. He's played super well as well in most of his series. So I think it's just like a good combination of both that's got him to 2 season wins or 2 season finals appearances. So
yeah, I mean, I think the more important points to possibly look at is if he wins the whole thing, then he's the only person, or I guess the other people on his team would be the only people to go back to back, I want to say.
yeah, which is arguably more impressive than
like I think what makes Stanley and Blake's run so impressive is that they finished first here, and first here. That's what I found really impressive about it, because the whole thing was that they finished at the top and then they can't close out the finals. Like they had 0 wins in finals until season 3, where they were able to barely pull it out. I think they just had an era of like regular season dominance, which I think was really impressive. If Valor's able to get back-to-back titles,
team, right? Yeah, I will say I think back-to-back titles is always going to be super impressive to do. But I do like the. I think Stanley Blake was also just a disgusting combo in early seasons. Like, uh, that mid top lane setup was like kind of unbeatable for the pool of players that Scrim had at the time. So
Yeah. But yeah, no. Definitely no one has gone back to back. So I think being able to do that would be really impressive, especially once we have like the consistent teams and stuff. I think that would be really cool. If a captain's able to get multiple wins back to back, I think that would be super impressive. But anyway, I don't doesn't feel like either of us are super confident about that happening. But I think we both agree it
yeah,
would be really cool.
I agree. It's pretty
Yeah.
cool, but I think that the teams this season have looked really good, so it's hard for them to definitively be able to
Right.
take it all. So,
Yeah, I think
or it's hard to predict them.
this could be a really cool narrative later on. But
Yeah,
want to say I think Stanley and Blake's accomplishment is cooler, unless Valor's able to win the back-to-back titles
sure.
with Heroic Aya and
Yeah,
Jackson all lumped in there. I think that would be really cool.
that
But
would be really
obviously, Blake and Stanley ruling regular season for 3 years in a row is kind of
pretty
crazy
sick.
for other reasons.
Yeah.
Because I believe they're the only people to go back to back winning the regular season. I'm not fact checking
Yeah.
that, but I think that is accurate. At
No, that
least
sounds about right.
it would be hard to find someone else. Okay. If there's another one like that, I'm skipping it and we're talking about it later.
Huh.
Okay. This is another question. Do you think there are any champions who truly define Scrim Zone meta that are pick or ban worthy? Because it's harder because Scrim Zone, there's a lot of mains. I think, yeah, we've had Seraphine super relevant for a while. She's not as relevant now because systems changes and stuff, but yeah, I do think it's possible. I don't think there's much of a discussion to be had
Joel, I'm
there.
sorry your ADHD brain can't keep up with us talking about topics, but sure, go to bed, bro. It's okay. You're an old
Okay.
man now.
Sadly, during the time of writing this, NYNB have failed to secure a best of 3. Personally do believe, though, that they are easily running up games, and most series are going to all 3.
Uh huh.
Okay, this is a good take. You typed way too many words. I'm sorry. If you simply
What's
typed
the take?
NYNB makes playoffs, banger take. I think there's a chance. I was trying to get at this
I'm
earlier.
gonna say base. I think this is
Yeah.
incredibly a base take.
I think it's a good take. I think hyping this up is really interesting. I do
Yeah,
think they have the
no,
potential to. And it's
I
definitely early
absolutely
enough.
do.
Anything can happen. I think there are definitely some teams that I think have a really bad mismatch in them, which I do want to kind of cover later on here because we do gotta still do our predictions. I think this
Wait,
episode
my team wipes the floor with yours. Yeah, we can
might run a
predict that,
bit
I guess.
longer. But wait, I meant for New York Nutbusters specifically, or are you
Nah,
reading chats
you know
again?
you did.
But anyway, I think this is a good take. I think it's super possible. It's too early to discount anything, obviously, and I feel like they
Yeah.
performed super well against us. I don't see NYB getting last, is my take. I'll agree with that far. I think the 5th or 4th spot could get a little dicey, but I think this is a really good take. I think hyping up NYNB is something more people should be doing. I think this team is really exciting. I think they've been able to put something together kind of in a pinch, which is cool. All right, next take. It's another question. Oh my god. So many questions. Cloud Soul is the best soul in the game. I think that's just a boring outtake. I think that's correct.
It's a good soul.
Yeah.
I think Freak was talking about the win rate delta on fucking Cloud Soul is insane, but or the
It's
win rate
pretty
percentage
ridiculous.
is very funny. It's actually a really good soul, but it's just so boring to play with.
Yeah, I want to say it's like one of those stat things where it's like weird because I think
People
that
just don't understand how OP out of combat movement speed is. So
it's that, and I also think you're more likely to play towards like early Infernal and Ocean Drags are really nice. So while those souls have a really high win rate, you might not be playing for the dragons that aren't those as much. Like if you see like a Chem Drag or a Hex Drag, those are a lot harder to take.
yeah,
And like I feel like the early Cloud drag people might not take as much, so you just don't get the soul as much. But I don't know. I think
No,
it's
that makes
kind of weird to find the stats, but I think Cloud Soul, being the best soul, is based because it's correct. It's a little bit of a boring take, but
yeah.
we'll let it slide. Okay.
I do think it's really funny that the big
Still
time watch
questions. So many
narrative.
questions. I
You
will be.
also made questions, bro.
I'm going to paraphrase this. Dean should be put on Yumi duty.
Baked. It's so baked. Like, what the fuck?
Thank you, Prage. I appreciate it. If I put that, I would be
Eric,
called biased.
number one, Eric is a better Yumi than you. Like, I don't know. Like, I feel like Eric's enchanter play is not terrible. Like, huh?
This is true. Well, I mean, I would play Yumi for Michael, but I feel like
Respect.
Eric's champions are not exactly Yumi centric champions. I would want to play something else to support him.
Yeah,
But
agreed.
you know, okay. I'm just gonna go back and parse these questions into takes.
Okay.
Actually, no, this is a good one. Haven't been enough DoorDash gaps this season. That's incredibly fucking base.
That's that's so base,
We
bro.
need more. It's because Teddy isn't playing, so actually this Andromeda trade is actually huge DoorDash gap stock. Like, he's going to
True.
pause more games, except I believe he's living at home now, so he can't. We don't have the issue of being in a college dorm and then having to, like, go let someone in the building anymore, so.
I think the last take and the Star versus Better Mid than Gruer take is getting cut off and based. You need to move him to the left a little more.
Okay. Thank you. Boo, boo. Oh, shit. Wrong button. Well, let me move it. There we go. Then I totally just undid the other one. Oopsies. Okay, time to try and parse some of these long-ass ones. This is actually a good one. Okay. Metabusters failed to secure a series last season. Now into the season, they've shown they have what it takes to compete with the top teams. Do we think synergy with players was more of a fault than points in certain roles, or is the game clearly just a jungle diff? This is not a take. I'm sorry. I don't even think I can like crunch this into a.
Yeah, I don't think
Because like, okay, I will dispute the claim that you're able to compete with top teams if you're 1 and 2 and you're in the bottom half of the standings. But
yeah,
I
there's
agree with the
that.
take that they've been able to win a series. But I don't know. I think it is a completely different team, so I think it is hard to really make a direct comparison. Okay, first off, big shout out to Puza for joining Scrim Zone, even though he's relatively new to League, and adapting and learning the team environment from his first series in signups to now being a starter in top lane. He's developed a lot. You think teams are that are stronger range closer to everyone having average points, or teams 1 to 2? Okay, there is a take at the end.
Joel said if there's a question mark, it gets fogged. Incredibly basic from Joel, by the way.
There isn't that. Well, no one puts question marks on them. They're just like our questions. Okay. Basically, equally distributed teams are better out the gate, but worse in the long run.
I'm gonna say it's a baked take.
I think so.
I think these
Also,
teams,
I think there's examples of both. I think it can be true. I don't think it's universally correct. Because I feel like we've seen the opposite. I think we've seen teams that aren't well distributed. Like we have the Hong and Sam bot lane on TSA. Comes out super strong and then just completely sputters out once it's solved. And I feel like Rift Sharks was kind of like that last season too. We put a lot of power into the bot side and then it just kind of sputters out. I feel like if you're not well balanced, that's actually where you tend to get exploited. Like if we look at the teams that won, you have in the first season, Airwick did really well. That's because you have really good top lane, really good ADC, and really good mid lane. They're all kind of tying it together. And then going into the next season, Jiffy Diffy, they actually had rosters that were really imbalanced, and they had to swap to a more well-rounded one to save them.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, I think I was starting on that team, and then I said, fuck that, we swapped to a more balanced roster, and we started clutching out the series, so.
Yeah. I mean, I think if you have ones that work well, then I think it works out. Like, it worked out for MVP last season, but I don't think that's necessarily a trend. I will just put Puza in the base category, though. I think that was a good shout out.
Yeah, Fuza the goat. On God.
Okay.
Just Fuza. That's such a base take.
Okay. Mason and Cam aren't confident in their play, and that's why Metabusters is losing.
Sure. I'll put that in base.
I don't know if it's confidence, but I mean, if we're arguing like no Hecarim, no Echo locked in last series, I think that's true. I think they're going for the right thing. I'm not sure if the wording is correct, but I'll say it's based. I think you're hitting at something pretty good there. Yeah.
Hecarim sucks, guys. I don't know what this narrative is, but sure.
All right,
I can
let's
agree with
get
that.
through 3 more, and then we can cover everything else next time. Mid meta is Resident Sleeper. Let's go. This is the first truly.
This is an incredibly base
Base
take.
to base take.
You motherfuckers are so boring, dog. Like, I'm so asleep at watching every game. You pick scaling mage mid and then just yawn. I'm so asleep, dog.
I mean, I think there is some stuff to talk about here because the rest of the take is too many mages. Give me more assassins, please. But you have Cam, who's played basically nothing but assassins, and you also have Zach, who's basically just been playing assassins. But obviously he has been role swapping a bit. I think it's just certain teams that are really boring and certain teams are really exciting. But I feel like the teams that are being exciting are considered off meta, so I think the stake is correct. But I think you should just be watching the fun teams like New York Nutbusters or Silico when he's playing assassins on MVP. They get really exciting. And more Metabusters games. If you have busting in your name, you're going to see assassins. So watch those teams.
True.
Okay. 2 more. Based or baked need an audience vote because our podcasters are so biased. Boo.
I feel like I'm the least biased fucking. Wait, hold on. What is this slander, bro? I'm less biased than Dean. Come on now.
That's probably true.
I will sit here and slander my own fucking team like all fucking day. What are we talking about biased, bro?
My only bias is good narratives. I think every team should be able to be hyped up, and if your take is calling things boring, then it probably goes into the baked department. But
I will say I think the audience vote is pretty based. I will agree, but
I mean that's fair. But I feel like does it
okay,
go in the podcast format? Maybe not. But if we're doing this in playoffs, I think that is a pretty good idea.
Yeah, I will also say you would all need to tune in to the streams more often for
get on Mason's sleep schedule, guys.
If you want to have an audience vote for baked or based,
be better.
Just have a demonic ass sleep schedule like me. That's on you, bro.
I don't know. I feel like our true podcast stands are the ones who say we ain't watching that shit until tomorrow. So
true, actually. You know what? That's based.
All right.
I've missed more streams than you because of sleep. I'm sorry, dog. You motherfuckers schedule your games at weird times. What can I say?
All right.
8 p.m. is a weird time for me. All right.
Ooh. Okay. This is a good one to end on. New York Nutbusters are their own worst enemies. I kind of stole some of these good NYMB takes, but I think it is true. I think as you get later into the game, they start to work against themselves. I think this team is really good. I think they've shown a lot more potential than we thought. I feel like a lot of us just rated them low because it felt like the team was kind of forced together and there wasn't too much synergy. But you do have Adam and Dave both on the same team. I think a lot of us just assumed Adam wasn't going to be playing much when we made the ratings. Him and Dave have really good synergy. Dave and Mimi have really good synergy. Will is obviously a very scary player. You can't sleep on him. A lot of them have one tricks. It's really hard to ban them. I feel like sometimes they just lose a little bit of focus and it kind of goes downhill. But I don't think this team's bad by any standards, and I get what they're hitting at here. I think it's a very good point.
Agreed. Good pick.
Do we do one more for the culture?
Sure. Okay. We'll do one more. And then we call the stream there.
Yeah. Okay. This one is way less cool to end on, but we should add more than 6 types of dragons.
Sure, that's kind of based. This is like the most neutral take I've ever seen,
Yeah,
but sure.
I don't know. Maybe just leave it in the middle and call it. Go to predictions. I
That's a Jacob As take. That's so fucking funny. No. Let no cook. Let him
hold on,
cook.
hold on, hold on, hold on.
I will say, in my defense against the I'm base or not base or I'm getting panned by every jungler. If you go back and watch our third game versus Metabus or versus MVP, I was fucking gapping the shit out of Silica in every fight. But that is a different tangent. TM.
Okay, a Silica 1-8, but out macroing your ass is all I gotta say.
Yeah, that was me getting out macroed for sure. Skis, bro.
Hey,
Trust.
you plural. Your collective ass.
You plural. You plural. Nice.
Okay.
That is on me for
Uh,
sure, dog.
okay. I will say this take. They did say the increased map variety is very fun. I think if there's maybe a way to change the maps up more without adding more dragons, I think that could be interesting. But you already are only seeing 3 types of dragons per game. I think
Agreed.
seeing fewer than half the types of dragons every game could be a little dicey. Maybe if it's like a 4th dragon is soul, then maybe you could add like 1 more, but I think adding too much is a little crazy. But more changes to the map, always good. I agree with that part, but not the core of the take, I don't think. I'm going to just export this so we have it, and then we can get into our predictions.
Yeah.
Feel like we have been giving you shorter episodes lately, so I think we can splurge a little bit on this one.
We can splurge on a
Yep.
fairly long one, you know.
Yep. All right. Cool. Let me hope that I didn't just drag the wrong screen. Oh, it totally said meta the whole time, not baked or based. Oopsie.
That's fine. Who really cares?
No one notices for sure. Real podcast listeners don't even look at the screen; they just listen to our voices.
True.
Now that goes in the big section. I don't think I'm allowed to say that.
That's
Okay.
fine. If you guys have been on Twitter recently, there has been a trend of people. There's a website that determines how attractive your voice is based on the hertz, and I got an 85, which is like apparently very attractive. So maybe it is true, you know.
I mean, I'll have to check that one out. Okay.
I'll link it to you later.
Metabusters versus Rift Sharks we already called. I believe we both said, or maybe you said 2-0. I don't know. I know I said 2-1 because I have still not figured out how to draft a good game 2. So I am not going to predict myself a good 2-0. So the upcoming matchups we have Metabusters versus Andromeda. We have New York Nutbusters versus Mass Valor and Pirates. This one I'm really excited for. And then Spectres versus Rift Sharks, which I feel like is the match for the culture. I feel like a lot of people have been hyping this one up in general. I think a lot of people do want to see how he can. Okay, Spectres have been they're on the broadcast a lot because they win a lot, and they always go, "We want to play Rift Sharks." So I think there has been a lot of talk about it. I actually have not heard any other series where people are like, "We really need to see this one." Like I'm sorry. People do not pick up specific matchups. We get one small victory, Mason, but
sure. Metabusters 2-0 versus Andromeda. Actually, I think it's a little dependent on how the series versus Rift Shark goes, but I'm a believer.
You just see like mental going game to game.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, we're also doing a series back to back, so I think it does kind of matter. MVP versus NYMB, I think, is way more interesting than Spectres versus Rift Sharks. I'm gonna say it. I think Spectres 2-0 the fuck out of Rift Sharks, but God, I'm gonna okay. I'm gonna say New York Nutbuster 2-1s. That is my take. I genuinely think the way that they performed versus what team did they play?
Rift Sharks, or
yeah,
MVP playing Andromeda.
Yeah, I just think they looked really shaky versus Andromeda.
Oh, I guess.
And then
And they also lost to Spectres, but they actually won a game there. I feel like their series versus Spectres looks really good. But
I think Avery was playing Hacker on top, right? Ooh.
yeah.
Anyways, I think I just think New York Nutbusters has looked really good in the series that they've played so far, and I believe in this team to make the adaptations and clutch out. So I will submit the New York Nutbusters 2-1 to be a bit contrary because I feel like that is a hotter take than MVP winning. So, but yeah,
Gotcha.
MetaBusters 2-0 for the culture, New York Nutbusters 2-1, and Spectres 2-0. Your move, brother.
I'm gonna say Andromeda 2-0 or 2-1 is tough.
That's crazy.
If it's starting roster for Metabusters, if not, I have a different prediction, but I'm just gonna go Andromeda 2-1 because I feel like it's kind of like the average of my predictions. I think Andromeda starting roster into starting roster, Andromeda wins all 3 lanes, so it's completely on your back, and self-admittedly, you are washed. So I think that puts Andromeda in a really good spot here. Also, their draft has been looking a lot better from what I've heard. It's because Mason is jailed off the draft website. So
True, actually.
I trust Mason's drafts. I do not trust the MetaBusters drafts I've seen so far. So I'm going to put Andromeda ahead in that one. I'm also going to put New York Nutbusters over Mass Valorant Pirates. I'm going to say 2-0.
Hey!
If this series goes to 3 games, though, they lose. It's either NYNB 2-0 or MVP 2-1. It's not going to be any other result. I would put money down on that. And by money, I mean skins. I don't bet for real money. I'm sorry to my teammates, but I'll take you on that one if you're willing to go for it.
Do we want to do a wager on that? Hold on, that sounds sick as fuck. So you think it's gonna be NYNB 2-0, and I say NYNB 2-1?
NYNB 2-0 or MVP 2-1 goes to me. MVP 2-1, or no, New York Nutbusters 2-1 or MVP 2-0 goes to you.
Okay, I'm down for that.
Okay, cool. Epic skin?
Yeah, that works.
Cool. And then Spectres versus Rift Sharks. I want to say 2-1. Again, I'm not predicting 2-0s for us because I have not fixed Game 2 drafts. Spectres has also not fixed Game 2 draft, but clearly didn't matter for them in that other series. But I don't know. I think a lot of the points that Spectres have pointed out that we do quite well in are the spots where they could get a little punished. So I do think it's pretty interesting. I think top lane is going to be the role you need to look at for our team. I think it's just a skill check. If Avery is able to do Avery things, I think it's really bad for us because I think the rest of the map should be slightly favored to us. But if Avery's just able to pop off, then I think that kind of does tip the scales against us. But I guess I'm just predicting underdog for everything, but screw it.
Fair. Okay. Alright. Anything else we want to cover?
No, I believe that's it. We're at like a minute 8, so I don't know.
Sounds good to me.
Alright, well thank you everybody for watching. We do appreciate everyone who watches live and people who watch VODs, regardless of what I said. But the VODs put up numbers on the YouTube channel, so clearly our VOD view count is pretty good as well. I'll have to look at the metrics, find numbers, and we can kind of make it a battle, but, you know, VOD viewers, get those watch time minutes in, and live viewers, try and get that average viewer up as well. And if the live viewers do drop Prime subs in chat, that means you're just better. You make it so that we actually have a website to go over stats. So I'll make sure it's fixed over the next couple of days. I'm not doing anything tomorrow, so everything will get done. But thank you, everyone, for watching. Thanks, Mason, for getting on eventually.
Yes, sir.
All right. See y'all next week.
Back to the Baldur's Gate.
Bye-bye.